Also ich werde eine kleine Einführung halten. Ich weiß, dass Sie alle sehr gespannt sind auf das Programm des Wettbewerbs, deswegen werde ich Sie nicht allzu lange auf die Folter spannen. Aber Sie haben ja schon am Gruppenfoto gemerkt, dass die Berlinale nicht eine Einzelveranstaltung ist. Es ist nicht nur das Filmprogramm, es ist ein Kollektiv, eine kollektive Arbeit. Und die Berlinale bringt jedes Jahr Publikum und auch Zuschauer in Berlin zusammen. Es sind die Zuschauer, die sich die Berlinale Filme anschauen, aber es sind auch die Fachbesucher und andere Interessenten aus dem Publikum, die sich die vielen Wortveranstaltungen anhören und daran teilnehmen. Insbesondere die European Film Market widmet sich vielen Wortveranstaltungen, wie auch die Berlinale Talents. In diesem Jahr wird auch das Jubiläumsprogramm On Transmission mit Gesprächen verknüpft sein zwischen Filmschaffenden, was wir sehr spannend finden. Und ich hoffe, dass auch Sie die Gelegenheit wahrnehmen werden, an der einen oder anderen Veranstaltung teilzunehmen. Teil des 70-jährigen Jubiläums sind Aktivitäten mit Partnern in der Stadt. Wir haben ab 11. Februar Veranstaltungen mit Kulturinstitutionen und anderen Partnern in der Stadt angeschoben. Am 11. Februar wird Alexander Kluge seine Ausstellung in der Berliner Volksbühne eröffnen. Danach werden wir eine Veranstaltung mit der Deutschen Filmakademie haben. Gegen die Wand von Fatih Akin wird vorgestellt. Wir haben eine Kooperation mit dem Gorki-Theater. Dort wird Oleg Sentsov den auf seinem Theaterstück basierenden Film Numbers vorstellen. Und wir werden mit der Akademie der Künste eine Veranstaltung organisieren, wo es um die Rolle von Festivals geht. Ich hoffe sehr, dass Sie auch eine oder andere Veranstaltung sehen werden. Der Europäische Filmmarkt hat als Gastland in diesem Jahr Chile und hat als besonderen Fokus Nachhaltigkeit. Allerdings ist das ein Fokus, der das gesamte Festival hat. Das ist jetzt nicht zum ersten Mal, dass das Festival sich mit diesem Thema auseinandersetzt. Wir unterstützen schon seit vielen Jahren die 17 nachhaltigen Entwicklungsziele der Vereinten Nationen und werden dies in diesem Jahr mit einer besonderen Präsentation in den Potsdamer Platz Arkaden begleiten, wo Sie nochmal gezielt auf bestimmte Veranstaltungen hinweisen. Wir haben auch mit der BSR, mit der Berliner Stadtreinigung, eine Kooperation. Die BSR wird auch die Zuschauer der Berlinale nochmal einladen, sich Gedanken zum Thema Nachhaltigkeit zu machen. Und auch ein Schülerwettbewerb hat stattgefunden, wo am 13. Februar die Preisverleihung stattfinden wird. Also dieses Thema nachhaltig beschäftigt uns alle sehr. In den Potsdamer Platz Arkaden werden wir nach wie vor den Ticketshop haben und auch den Merchandising-Shop. Der Berlinale Streetfood-Markt wird aber in diesem Jahr am Sony Center Platz finden, also auf der anderen Seite der Potsdamer Straße. Und wie Sie wahrscheinlich schon gehört haben, werden wir anlässlich des Jubiläums unsere Gäste nach dem Eröffnungsfilm ins Kulturforum einladen. Also der Eröffnungsempfang wird dort stattfinden. Weitere Veränderungen sind vor allem im Programmbereich und Carlos Aufgabe. Ich möchte an dieser Stelle der Staatsministerin für Kultur und Medien, Professor Monika Grütters, danken für die Unterstützung und alle anderen offiziellen Partner des Festivals, ohne deren Engagement und Begeisterung wir dieses Festival gar nicht stemmen könnten. Als neuer Hauptpartner haben wir Magenta TV gewonnen, die in diesem Jahr in einer Festival-Lounge am Zoopalast besonders mit Aktivitäten auf sich aufmerksam machen. RBB Media unterstützt uns jetzt als neuer Co-Partner und wir setzen die gute Zusammenarbeit fort mit unseren Hauptsponsoren Audi, L'Oréal Paris und ZDF sowie mit dem neuen Co-Partner Mastercard. Also für das 70. Jubiläum haben sich nochmal zusätzlich extra engagiert die FFA und das Land Berlin, wofür auch unser Dank. Und das wäre es jetzt schon für meinen Teil. Ich bin sehr gespannt auf Carlos Teil.
Danke. Danke, Mariette. Diese Pressekonferenz steht am Ende einer epischen und aufregenden Reise, auf der wir mehr als 6.800 Filmen aus der ganzen Welt begegnet sind. Die Aufgabe, sie zu sichten und zu beurteilen, ist eine enorme Verantwortung, aber auch ein großes Privileg. Während wir die Breite und die Tiefe dieser globalen Produktionen erlebten, befanden wir uns in einer ziemlich eigenartigen Position. Wir verstehen uns schließlich nicht als Richter, Richterinnen, sondern als Gastgeber, Gastgeberinnen oder wenn Sie so wollen, als Brückenbauerinnen. Vielleicht jetzt auf Englisch. Don't want to ruin your beautiful language. Next year, maybe I will be able to speak a little bit more. We said that we would like to present ourselves as bridge maker. Making a film festival means taking decisions, but it's also about building trust upon films that will be seen in most cases for the first time. In that regard, it is important not only to take decisions, the right ones, hopefully, but also to be able to support this decision. Being able to talk about films or to create room for discussion is as important as choosing films. And so today I cannot help but think about two great film critics who recently passed away. Jean Duché, French, and Thomas Elsässer. I think you know him. They were not related to film festivals in particular, but their words, written or spoken, inspired and informed many people like me, like you, like us. As we said, the Berlinale selection is the result of a year of screenings and discussions. It is a teamwork. And before introducing the Golden Bear lineup, it is essential to acknowledge the people who are with us today, as they were all year round. So please let me thank my committee of selection, all the head of the sections, and their team. We are here on their behalf. We are here on behalf of the Wolf Film Festival team. And also, I think I can speak also on Mariette's name. In this special occasion, our first time, we want to thank all the Berlinale team for making us at ease like we have been here at the Berlinale forever. Thank you very much. The program of the Berlinale is much bigger than the Golden Bear competition, which will be presented today. We hope that the new structure we put in place will be understood. Along with different curators, we try to make distinctions between sections more evident. That said, each section tries to embrace the diversity that cinema itself has. Each film stands for itself, and it will be judged as a single piece. At the same time, it is part of a bigger picture, and we are aware that in a film festival, its reception will depend on the films that viewer will watch before and after. We'll let you navigate through the program, giving just one single piece of advice. Be curious rather than assertive. Our biggest wish is for Berlinale 2020 to be sparkling with talks, even vibrant ones, but always respectful to the others. Films don't exist without audience, but audience means nothing without an exchange, a sharing, be it simply a laugh or a cry or a more articulated discussion. And now we can go to the Golden Bear competition lineup, which comprises 18 films. We have some pictures. So the first film in the competition, we have a list in alphabetical order. The first one comes from Germany, Berlin Alexanderplatz by Burhan Kurbani. It is one probably of the most anticipated German project of the year. It is, as you know, a new take on a well-known book, but it's also a way to cast a look on a city, Berlin, which you will see it's very much at the center of this edition. This contemporary version of Berlin Alexanderplatz, as you can see, as a new protagonist. France becomes Francis. Berlin is the city of his exile. And the film is also a very timely one, not only a journey through the dark night of Berlin. We are very happy to welcome 10 years after Sharada, Kurbani back in competition. The second film is Dao, Natasha, by Ilya Krzyżanowski and Yekaterina Ortel. This film is one of the outputs of a very ambitious and very much discussed project, which probably wasn't meant to exist as single films. We watched part of this huge project, and we were impressed by it, by its style, by its immersive power. As you know, Dao tells the story of an institution which at the beginning was meant to be a place of research and in the end became a totalitarian universe. This film, which includes also something important to say, graphic scenes, is a provocative, transgressive analysis of violence and power. Can we go to the next one? I will skip you the Korean title because I won't be able to pronounce. The English one, The Woman Who Ran by Aung San Suu. Aung San Suu is back for the third time in competition. It was in 2013 and 2017. Film after film, Aung tends to simplicity and minimalism in its style. But yet, his stories are a kind of sweet riddles for the viewers. Here, for example, we cannot help but think, who is the woman in the title? For sure, one thing, Kim Min-hee in the picture is still the muse of this great filmmaker. The next one, we have two women laughing. Comedy is an important part in a cinema. Comedy will have also his role, will play his role in the festival and in the competition. Effacer l'historique by Benoît Delépine and Gustave Kerverne, who are quite familiar to the Berlinale audience. They were in 2010 with Mammoth in competition and another time out of competition. They are back with a film that chooses to deal with the consequences of new technologies and social media in the life of common people. The three main characters are played by Blanche Gardin, who is very popular in France, Denis Podalides, I know you know him, and Corinne Maziero. Tragic and hilarious, this film by Delépine and Kerverne is again a tribute to those who are left behind by history. The next one, El Prófugo, The Intruder, Natalia Meta. It's the second film by this Argentinian director, and he has a strong female performance at this center. The leading role is played by Enrica Rivas. The protagonist is a dubbing artist and a singer in a choir. So as you can see, the universe of sounds is very much at the center of this film, which is a noir, so it's a genre film. It's a film also that treats topics such as gender boundaries or how we perceive others and how others perceive us. The next one, Favolacce, Bad Tales, by the Damiano and Fabio Di Innocenzo. Di Innocenzo twins brother are the youngest filmmakers in the competition. They are a little bit more than 30 years old. And they were at Panorama 2 years ago with their debut film. Now they are back with a more ambitious project. This is a peculiar fresco. I would like to call it a landscape with ruins. The ruins of the film are not destroyed building of World War II, used by neorealism, nor the barracks in the outskirts of Rome, filmed by Pasolini or Citti. In the 21st century, the ruins are something broken inside the family. It is a very dark fairy tale, and probably does not apply only to Italy. The next one, First Cow by Kelly Reichardt. Kelly Reichardt's first film, River of Grass, was shown in Panorama back in 1994. Meanwhile, she has become one of the most interesting and prominent filmmakers. First Cow is her 8th film. None of them is set in an urban landscape, and this is no exception. This one takes us to the Old West, but it treats the West or the Western in a way that is at once human and political. So the West is not only a place for an economic conquest or success, but it's a place for meeting. Here we follow the trajectory of a cook. The next one, Irradiated, by Riti Pan. As you might know, Riti Pan, who lives in France but comes from Cambodia, has devoted all his work in cinema to the tragedy of his country, to the genocide perpetrated by Khmer Rouge. In this film, he opened up his look and decided to deal with the pain or sorrow caused by war and mass destructions. It is a film that we discuss a lot because it's a film that can be hard to take it, as it asks us to keep our eyes open. But we believe that it's a very important film nowadays. It is the only documentary in competition, even if calling a documentary maybe is not so appropriate. The film, which is based mainly on footage, has also a secret companion, Marceline Loredan, who recently passed away, was not only the Joris Evans' wife, but also a survivor of the camp. The next one, we stay in France with the new film by Philippe Garrel, Le Sel des Larmes, The Salt of Tears. Philippe Garrel has been in the Berlinale in the past, but it's the first time for him to be in competition. It's his 28th film, if I am correct, and all his films are in a way personal, in the sense that Garel talks about his own life, or rather use elements of his life to make story. Of course, Garel's cinema has evolved a lot. He's no more the young guy who did La cicatrice intérieure with Nico, not even the director who did 20 years after, in 1991, J'entends plus la guitare, where Johanna Terstege plays Nico. But still, women or women are at the heart of his work. This film is shot in a black and white by Renato Berta. It's at once simple and precise, and I would like to call it a tale about cruelty of love. The next one, Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always, by Eliza Hittman. It's the third film by a promising talent from the US independent scene. This film is an intimate portrait of two teenage girls from rural Pennsylvania and tells their journey to New York City. It's a film that goes beyond the issue movie, even if it deals with a very strong and very timely topic. The film has, for us, a centerpiece, a scene that is a centerpiece, which gives its title, and which will become for us, for sure, a model of the feminist cinema. The film is also shot by a great DOP, Hélène Louvart, and is a film that talks about anger, but also about ants that look for each other. The next one, Rizzi, Days, Tsai Ming-liang. Rebels of the Neon God, Tsai Ming-liang's first film, was in Panorama, back in 1993. The year after, Tsai Ming-liang won Venice Film Festival with Vive l'Amour. In 1997, 2005 was in Berlinale competition, where he won a Silver Bear. Film after film, Tsai Ming-liang has shaped stories in a distinctive style. But also, he has built something that is unique in the history of cinema, a special relationship, a special storyline with his actor and muse, Li Kansheng. After some years of experimentation with VR and other forms, he's back with a film that is simple, very simple in terms of narrative, as its title unveils, as it is precise in terms of mise-en-scène. I would like to call it a story of pain and comfort. The next one, The Road's Not Taken by Sally Potter. Sally is the fourth film by Sally Potter in Berlin competition. In a way, we can say that each film she made has a special or carry a special challenge. Here, the story might look simple on paper. It is a father and daughter relationship. But the two characters, albeit always together, they live separate experiences. It is a film that explores the many lives that a man has inside him, but also the tender, stubborn desire of a daughter to be connected with his dad. The film has also a great cast: Javier Bardem, Elle Fanning, Salma Hayek, Laura Linney. The next one, Schwesterlein, My Little Sister, by Stéphanie Chouat and Véronique Raymond. Also, this film revolves around a family and about a suffering man. In this case, Nina Hoss and Lars Eidinger are twins. The third element in place is theater, and in particular, Berlin theater scene. Most of the film is shot in Berlin. The theater is a kind of home, especially for the character played by Lars Eidinger, and Berlin theater scene is also present through Thomas Ostermeier, who is the director of the Schaubühne and plays his own role in the film. The film explores the meaning of healing and sacrifice, and it's a film that moves us a lot. The next one, Sheitun Vujud Nadarat, There Is No Heaven, by Muhammad Rasulov. Rasulov cannot travel abroad or film in his country. Nevertheless, this film has been shot in 4 different locations, which are real places, but also symbol of a country we still know very little about. The story follows 4 characters who are in a different way related with death penalty in Iran. Despite all, it's not a dark film. On the contrary, the film traces a path from darkness to light. It's the first time for Rasulov in Berlin. His films were previously shown in Cannes, and we are very happy that he chose Berlin for this one. We also hope that Rasulov will be able to come to Berlin, and we hope that his government, the Iranian government, will allow him to come to Berlin. The next one, Siberia by Abel Ferrara. Ferrara was in Berlinale Wettbewerb in 1995 with The Addiction. Since then, his way of making film has changed, as cinema itself has changed. But Ferrara remained true to himself and to his desire to face the truth. Siberia is a non-narrative and inspired, as often in recent years happened, by his friend and accomplice Willem Dafoe, who played the lead in this film. It's a film about inner demons. The next one. Todos os Mortos, All the Dead Ones, by Caetano Gotardo and Marco Dutra. Dutra and Gotardo comes from Brazil. And Brazil was the last country in America to abolish slavery, around at the end of 19th century. This film tells the story of two families, as you can see, one white and one black, that has to face the legacy or the heritage of slavery. It is a film also that paid tribute to the Brazilian syncretism in its style and its pace. And it's a film that really challenged also the narrative form. The next one, Undine by Christian Petzold. 4 times in Wettbewerb for Christian Petzold. This time, it is not really about the history of Germany, but it's rather the history of Berlin, or rather the mythology around a character that is well known, Undine. Undine is, in fact, not only a tribute to the myth, comes from Greek mythology, but a myth that also has been narrated by Ingeborg Bachmann with a short story, but also to Berlin and the water, which flows around and underneath the town. It is a film about love. We can call it a love story set in a modern world, with Paula Beer and Franz Rogowski playing the lead. The last film in competition, Volevo nascondermi, Hidden Away, by Giorgio De Ritti. It's the 4th feature length by a filmmaker, which is, I presume, not very well known outside Italy, but even in Italy is considered as a solitary worker. His films are all well-rooted in rural specific areas, and this one is no exception. He is the singer of a rural culture that does not exist anymore. With this film, he chose the story of a painter, Antonio Ligabue, who is considered a revolutionary loner in modern art. Is a self-taught painter, not educated, quite ugly in his physique, that lived a simple life until his paintings become very successful. This film is about painting as a magic art, but is also a kind of journey through one single soul. And before closing this first part, I just want to announce the adding and Berlinale special, which allows me to remind you that, as you know, the Haus der Konkurrenz is not in place anymore, but still we will have Gala film out of competition played at the Berlinale. The first film we announced today, it's a film I think quite well known as this project, is the new film by Pixar Disney. It's called Onward. It will be shown at the Berlinale Palace on Friday for the world premiere. For us, it's important to include in the program, in the Berlinale Palace, as in other films that address to any audience. A Pixar movie and Disney movie, I think they can be watched by a very young kid and by grown-up men. And this film in particular, it's important to us because it reminds us that in a world filled with technology, magic is still important. Then we decided to add another title in Berlinale Special Gala at Friedrichstadt Palace. It's a film come from Germany, Curveball, by Johannes Naber. It's a film that is inspired from true fact, but decided to treat this fact under the form of a parody, of a satire. It's a film that takes us a little bit back in the past. As you have seen, we have many films that handle the concept of memory of history. And through the comedy or comic or satire element allows us to think a little bit also about our relationship with history. And then we have 2 films as Berlinale Special, both playing in the Aus der Berliner Festspiele. One is a series, Dau, which is of course related to Dau Natasha. Is a series that was created by Ilya Kojanowski, and the film is made by Ilya Kojanowski and Ilya Pemyakov. And in a way, we wanted to show that also to give an idea of the project and also to give a narrative arc of this institution, who is at the center of this project. And the last film, again, take us back in the past, is a film based on footage. It's the new film by Vanessa Lapa, Spears Goes to Hollywood. The main character is a documentary. The main character is Speer, which I think you know him quite well as an historic figure, but he's also unveil an element of his personality, his desire also to control his own history, and in particular in the relationship of a film that Paramount wants to make about his own life. I think that's it for the program, and of course we are open for discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Carlo and Mariette. Wir können jetzt gleich mit den Fragen beginnen. Meine Kolleginnen vom Presseteam werden auch in der Zwischenzeit das Dossier verteilen, falls Sie noch mal den einen oder anderen Titel nachlesen möchten, bevor die Fragen gestellt werden. Bitte, wenn Sie eine Frage haben, kurzes Handzeichen, dann können die beiden Kollegen hinten Ihnen ein Mikro geben. Gibt es denn schon die erste Wortmeldung oder Frage? Ganz da hinten links bitte, Marcello. Wir brauchen das mit dem Mikrofon. Der Kollege, er kommt schon, ne? Können Sie noch mal ganz kurz sich umdrehen? Ja. Dankeschön.
José García, die Tagespost. Eine ganz konkrete Frage. Nach welchen Kriterien wählen Sie die Filme aus, die Sie in den Wettbewerb und nicht für andere Sektionen einladen?
I think that the main criteria for every film festival is only one: is the artistic quality. Is the artistic quality of the films. That's the main criteria. Then, through the films selected, we want to convey a vision of the world that cinema always tries to do. But the criteria, like in the past at the Berlinale, like in Cannes Film Festival, like in Venice Film Festival, is always the artistic quality of the film. How to express the artistic quality is film that, for us, has a unique voice, that in a way we feel that we're made with a unique intent. Sometimes it's more the quality of the style, sometimes it's more the quality of the storytelling, sometimes it's also the stronger performances.
Yes, please.
Natascha Freunde, RBB Kultur. Did you plan for your first year at the Berlinale to choose films on Berlin especially? Or is it by chance that you have kind of a Berlin special now in the competition?
We don't make film, so we receive the film and we don't start the selection process with an idea in mind. It would be wrong. Of course, as we said since the beginning, that we want to place this edition under the sign of Berlin. Berlin is a film. We were very happy when we watched film that, in a way, pay tribute to the different identities, to the different souls of Berlin. But that was never an idea that we had at the beginning. We select the film, in particular Berlin, Alexanderplatz, Schwesterlein, and Undine, because they are strong and they are, for us, good film to be in competition.
Bitte.
Hello, Frauke Guss, RBB. Why not to open the Berlin Film Festival with Berlin Alexanderplatz?
It's always a choice. For me, especially in this first year, I rather prefer to open with out of competition, with a Berlinale Gala film, rather than a film in competition. I think because the opening slot is a very tricky one, where expectations are higher than usually. And my experience is sometimes this slot doesn't help the film if the film is in competition. We decided to open with My Salinger, which is a very strong, very good film, but also for us that has carry out a very nice message. A message, as you know, the film My Salinger has a young, aspiring writer at its center, so it's also help us to tackle two subjects. One is the role of the writer or the heart in nowadays, and on the other hand, to give an uplifting message. Because as you have seen, we do have some comedies in the competition, but mostly films are quite dark.
Hier auf der linken Seite gab es noch eine Frage.
Ja, Hans-Werner Kruse, Fuldaer Zeitung. Ich greife vielleicht ein bisschen vor, aber ich habe eine Frage zum Verhältnis des Bärenwettbewerbs zu dem neuen Wettbewerb, den Sie machen, mit den wegweisenden Filmen. Das erinnert mich so ein bisschen an den Bauerpreis, ne? Oder am Bauerbären. Ist das jetzt sozusagen der kommende Wettbewerb und der bisherige wird so zum Unterhaltungsprogramm? Oder, also ich habe es einfach nicht verstanden, wie die beiden Wettbewerbe sich zueinander verhalten. Und als Journalist ist es auch unmöglich, alle 33 Filme dann zu sehen, also das auch zu vergleichen.
This is a question that allows me to remind you that Encounter's lineup, which is the new competitive section, has been already unveiled. It comprises 15 titles. We decided to create this new section not to duplicate the competition, but because we feel that cinema is changing and the way of production film is changing, the way of watching film changes, and we wanted to have a place for films that have been made and are made out of the traditional way of production. These films for us are strong in terms of quality, in terms of style, but not all of them, they have the shape, they have the power to stand in the Wettbewerb competition. So this is the main reason why we create this section. I think that if you look at both lineup, you will understand, of course, there will be maybe some exception, why one film is in one competition and not in the other. But in the end, it's you, your judgment, your way of thinking that will maybe motivate us to maybe shape even more these two sections or to bring these two sections closer together. In terms of number of films, as you know, the Berlinale show many, many films. Actually, this year we have 60 less films than in the past. So we reduced the number of films. Of course, it's a choice, but I think also you have to think about the many audiences presented at the Berlinale. And we want to offer films for all these audiences.
Ulla Brunner, ABB, you once said you want to tell, if I remember it right, you want to tell with the whole competition, with all the films, you want to tell a story. What story would it be with all these films, what you want to tell us in this competition?
There are as I said, it is important not only to choose the film, but also to support them. At the same time, our goal is not to give one single direction. I hope there will be more than one stories. There are some lines. One line that maybe I can give you today is that this year in competition we have a number of filmmakers that were in the past at the Berlinale in competition, and they are back. And I think if you look at that trajectory, you will see also how cinema evolves. Sally Potter, Abel Ferrara, Aung San Suu, Tsai Ming-yang, they are back with the films that really are at the present time. This is one thread. Another element that may be also related to what our friends at the Berlinale Talent is doing, we have 4 films made by a duo. As you know, Berlinale Talent this year, they focus on collective. I think also the idea of going beyond the author is something that question filmmakers nowadays. And maybe the last, which is more topic-driven, is that a good number of film in competition, they decided to look at the dark side of the human being. They are not without hope, but at the same time, they want to really face what's happening around us. Sometimes talking about the inner fear, sometimes talking about the fear that are in the world outside us. So I think this is also something that I take that we took from the film we selected, a way to not to talk. Even when a film like Abel Ferrara film is a very inner film, it deals with something that is bigger to us. It's something that we reflect to the world.
Auf der linken Seite hier bitte.
Last year, Dieter Koslik, Jakob Bauer from RBB. Last year, Dieter Koslik signed that declaration 50-50-2020, which stands up for more equality in the film business. How do you deal with that legacy, considering the competition, the choices for the competition, and also the choices for the jury? And when do we know about the jury?
For the jury, you have to wait a little bit. We believe that it's not good to present at the same time the competition and the jury. The jury is ready. It will be unveiled in the next weeks or week. The 50-50, I think it's the pledge is the main important thing is to create awareness. And the Berlinale, I think the history of the Berlinale is very much an history of awareness of all the differences that still exist in the not only in the cinema film business, but in general in life. This year, as you know, so first of all, let me say that for me, it's not only about male, female. It would be like narrowing down the problem. The problem is much wider. And again, for me, as a cinema lover, of course, the filmmaker is the one to stay behind the film, but the film is always a collective process. So again, focusing only on filmmaker is a bit tricky. That said, as you have the data, you have the facts, we have out of 18 films in competition, 6 films made by a female filmmaker. It's not 50-50, but I think it's a good path to reach that 50-50, that half-half position. We have some section where the presence of female is bigger than the presence of male. We don't want to reduce that. It's a process. I think it's really a process, and me and Mariette, we are both into that. On the Berlinale, maybe Mariette, you can say something about it.
Ja, also es ist tatsächlich so, dass die in den Sektionen die künstlerische Leiterinnen in der Regel weiblich sind. Also das vergrößert schon mal auch auf jeden Fall die Sensibilität und stellt sicher, dass man auch einen Blick dafür hat, was will man zeigen. Weil natürlich ist jede Auswahl auch mit einem eigenen persönlichen Hintergrund verbunden. Marion Redpath macht Generationen, Linda Söfker ist für die Perspektive Deutsches Kino zuständig, Michi Stütz, das ist jetzt keine Frau natürlich, aber für Panorama. Aber da Forum, Christina Nord, also in der Besetzung dieser sehr wichtigen Positionen ist wirklich eine sehr große weibliche Präsenz spürbar. Stefanie Schulte-Strathaus macht Forum Expanded. Dann ist auch die Leitung Presse, ist Frauke Greiner, Anne Marburger Kommunikation. Also da ist die Berlinale generell als Institution wirklich sehr gut aufgestellt.
Der Herr hier vorne bitte. Ja.
Dominik Zimmer für Lateinamerika-Nachrichten. Eine Frage zum europäischen Filmmarket, zum European Film Market. Da ist Chile ja dieses Jahr Gastland und in dem Land, viele werden es wissen, gab es in den letzten Wochen und Monaten ja starke Proteste, unterstützt auch von, begleitet von massiver Repression, auch durch die Regierung. Wird es thematisiert werden auf den Veranstaltungen zum European Film Market?
Also die Veranstaltungen von der European Film Market werden sich natürlich mit den wichtigen Themen der Filmschaffenden auseinandersetzen. Und inwiefern das dann ein starker Fokus hat, kann ich jetzt noch nicht einschätzen. Aber dadurch, dass die Filmschaffenden sich natürlich auch mit den Bedingungen in ihrem Land auseinandersetzen, wird das mit ein Thema sein.
Christiane
Peitz from Tagesspiegel. Once again, the question about the time schedule. Will it be possible for us, the press, to see both competitions, or will we have to decide? Und eine Frage an Mariette Rissenbeek. Ist das Problem mit der Magic Mike Show gelöst? Also wird die pausieren in der Zeit oder haben wir Geräuschprobleme? Und hat die Tatsache, dass der Eröffnungsempfang nicht im Berlinale Palast stattfindet, auch mit diesem Adagio zu tun? Danke.
Ich fange mit Magic Mike an, weil das Thema tatsächlich meine letzten Wochen sehr begleitet hat. Magic Mike wird während der Berlinale keine Shows veranstalten. Wir haben eine Abstimmung dazu erreichen können. Tatsächlich ist es so, dass wegen der Show diesen Clubtheaterraum unten ganz anders ausgebaut wurde, als er vorher war, sodass weniger Personen darin Platz haben, einfach durch die Möbelstücke, durch die Platzierung eines Podiums. Der Vorraum, wo früher die Garderobe abgeholt werden konnte, da gibt es jetzt einen eingebauten Container mit einem Bar-Container und auch einen Container für Merchandising, sodass wir auch da diesen Bewegungsspielraum einfach nicht haben. Wir hätten eine sehr viel unkomfortablere Situation gehabt. Wir hätten schon machen können, wenn wir das um jeden Preis gewollt hätten. Aber uns schien das für ein Jubiläumsjahr der Berlinale, wo wir eher hoffen, alle Gäste wieder einladen zu können, wie es in der Vergangenheit auch der Fall war, wäre es eine sehr große Restriktion gewesen. Und wir haben dann beschlossen, die Gelegenheit dann auch zu nehmen, um einen neuen Ort zu suchen. Ja.
Of course, we want you to watch as many films as possible. We try to put in place a timetable that will allow you to watch both films. That said, for its nature, Encounters comprises films that are like, they have sometimes extended format. We have one film that is more than 8 hours. So in that case, we'll have to choose if you want to travel along with this film for its entirety or not. We have a Cristi Puyo film, which is more than 3 hours. So sometimes you will have to decide, but in general, it's possible to watch both films of both competition.
Katharina?
Ja, Katharina Dockhorn, freie Journalistin. Das ist vor allen Dingen eine Frage, denke ich, an Frau Rissenbeek. Wir alle kennen die Situation um den Cinestar und in den Forum-Pressevorführungen wurde auch schon angekündigt, dass die Pressevorführungen in verschiedenen Kinos sein werden in Berlin. Vielleicht können Sie grundsätzlich mal was sagen, wie die Kinosituation sich jetzt auflösen wird, denn das Kubix, was Sie ja jetzt wohl ganz bespielen werden, das kann natürlich den Cinestar nicht ersetzen. Und die zweite Frage ist mal sehr provokant. Also die Älteren werden sich erinnern, in den 90er Jahren hatten wir immer noch so eine kleine BVG-Freifahrtskarte mit an unserer Akkreditierung. Die wurde dann abgeschafft in dem Jahr, als es hieß, wir ziehen jetzt am Potsdamer Platz, wo natürlich alles ganz nah beieinander ist. Und die Frage ist, werden Sie in diesem Jahr uns überraschen, dass wir das wieder haben? Sind Sie da überhaupt mit der BVG in Verhandlungen? Oder die Frage ist jetzt wirklich auch aufgrund der U-Bahn-Situation, die wir am Potsdamer Platz hier haben, inwieweit wäre es dann auch für Journalisten möglich, die Shuttlebusse dann zu nutzen? Danke.
Also erstmal zum Cinestar. Also es ist im Moment so, dass der Vermieter, also Oxford Properties, der Eigentümer, sagt, dass sie wieder ein Kino dort etablieren wollen und auch in Gesprächen sind mit verschiedenen potenziellen Betreibern. Also wie die Situation 2021 ist, kann ich noch nicht einschätzen. Wir werden neben Kubix ja auch die Akademie der Künste in diesem Jahr bespielen. Da findet das Programm On Transmission statt, sodass das eine zusätzliche Kapazität von 500 Personen ist pro Vorführung. Der größte, wie soll ich das sagen, das größte Opfer vom Cinestar wegfallen war letztendlich der European Film Market, die sich sehr bemühen, noch zusätzliche Marktvorführungen möglich zu machen in Pop-up-Kinos direkt am Potsdamer Platz, in anderen Screening-Möglichkeiten, die sie schaffen oder wiederbeleben. Also wir sind tatsächlich zuversichtlich, dass wir das meiste auffangen können. Aber ja, natürlich sind Pressevorführungen jetzt nicht mehr nur am Potsdamer Platz möglich. Das ist total wahr. Wir haben mit der BVG gesprochen über eine Möglichkeit, nochmal freie Fahrt für Journalisten anzubieten. Wir sind in diesem Jahr nicht zum Ziel gekommen, aber ich nehme das Thema gerne nochmal mit. Der Ausstieg am Potsdamer Platz wird tatsächlich erschwierigt, dadurch, dass auf dem Weg zum Zoo die Bahn nicht hält am Potsdamer Platz, dafür aber am Mendelssohn-Bartholdy-Park, was ja nicht so ganz viel weiter ist. Es ist ein bisschen unbequemer, dem kann ich nichts entgegensetzen.
Markus?
Hallo, Marius Zekri, Radio Bremen. 2 Fragen. First, Encounters is an awarded competition, as I've learned. So, what kind of awards will be given away? Will this be golden and silver Berlin beers as well? And second, can you disclose a little bit of this year's guest list? Who will attend the Berlin Film Festival?
Maybe you answer the first one. For the awards, we decided not to. Encounters will have, of course, 3 main awards, 3 awards: Best Film, Special Prize Jury, and Best Director. We thought that giving another bear would not be the good option, so the filmmaker will receive a plaquette, which is one of the plaquettes that is already used by the Berlinale. Still, it's a new section, so we are still thinking about if there is a need to have another animal or another symbol, we're still open. For now, we decided to go with the usual object, so it will be a plaquette.
Mit einem Bären drauf.
So the bear will be on the plaquette, of course. The second question, in general, we expect to have all the filmmakers, I already mentioned about Rasulov, but all the filmmakers are coming at the Berlinale. We also expect to have all the main cast coming at the Berlinale with the filming competition. The final list of the guests will be unveiled next week or no?
When we announce the program or when we have the program online on February 11.
So we expect to have Javier Bardem, Elle Fanning, Salma Hayek, Willem Dafoe, Lars Eidinger, Nina Hoss, Enrica Rivas, Cecilia Roth, Daniel Handler, Elio Germano, and so on.
Hillary Clinton, maybe?
This is, well, for the competition. And out of competition, Hillary Clinton, in the Berlinale series, Kate Blanchett, Damien Chazelle, and so on. But the final list, because as you can understand, we are still in the process, will be unveiled
soon.
Soon.
Ja, nochmal Frauke Gust, RBB. Frau Rissenbeek, können Sie vielleicht noch was zur Berlinale Serien sagen? Was wird es da in diesem Jahr Besonderes geben?
Also was Carlo schon erwähnte, wir haben auch eine Art Gala jetzt bei den Berlinale Serien. Kate Blanchett mit ihrem Projekt, also sie spielt und hat mitproduziert und hat auch das Konzept erarbeitet für Stateless. Dann haben wir eine Serie, eine Doku-Serie über Hillary Clinton, die wird im Haus der Berliner Festspiele seine Premiere haben. Dann die weiteren 6 Serien, ich kann sie jetzt nicht alle einzeln aufzählen, aber da ist ein sehr sorgfältig komponiertes Programm zusammengestellt, was auch die Spannbreite der Serien nochmal ganz deutlich macht und einen sehr aktuellen Stand der Serienproduktion vermittelt.
Maybe just to add, along with Julia Fidel, who is the curator of the Berlinale series, we shaped a program that for us is very strong, and also we wanted to have it connected with other part of the festival. So in the program of Berlinale series, we have a series that comes with a filmmaker that has an auteur status. Damien Chazelle is an example. Atina Zangari is another one. We have series that work different format, like a web series. We have series that handle very strong topic and very timely topic, like sex, like migrants, and again, it's a section that we believe very much in, and because it's part of the cinema language now.
Bitte?
Julia Kilian von der dpa. Letztes Jahr gab es große Debatten über einen Netflix-Film im Wettbewerb. Wie viele der Filme sind denn diesmal von Streamingdiensten ins Rennen geschickt?
From Netflix. There is no.
I think I presented every film, so you know that no one is from Netflix. But again,
Keiner der Filme wurde von Netflix produziert.
But this is not because as I answered before, the criteria is the artistic criteria. We have these 18 films because they are for us the best one to represent the cinema. We said in the past that regarding streaming platform, we are willing to consider film for the main competition only if there is a market open. So if the film will have a life in theater, we are very committed to go with that. But again, we will discuss case by case. This year, we don't have any streaming, any film produced by a streaming platform in competition. We do have one, but not produced, but acquired in Generation, which is called Mignon. The film will be released in France as a normal film.
Bitte?
Jakob Bauer from RBB once again. You already talked about the topics that interested you, like the dark, or we will see in the competition, the dark side of human being, and so on. And in the last years, Dieter Koslik always had this sort of motto he put in front of everything. Last year, private is political. Will you have such a motto that will stand before, or will you say, yeah, these are the topics I'm interested in, and we will see?
Do you need a motto? Do you all need a motto?
I'm just interested.
You tell me. If you need a motto, we'll find one. I think it's more important that each viewer will find his own claim. Claims are very strong in terms of communication, but it can also become a trap. This maybe allows me to say something. Before I introduced introducing the lineup, and I said it is important not only to choosing and then showing the film, but also to be able to support them. the message, of course, is to us, but also to you. You are our partner in this big kermesse. I think that without you, the film won't be able to have their life. So I really encourage you, when we said to be curious, to navigate the Wolf Festival and find your own topic trend. Of course, our press office is very much willing to give you more information, either on the topic or on the filmmaker's background and so on. But we really believe that nowadays, in the world we are living, your work is even more important, and not only based on motto, because with Twitter, we give only motto. But I think that audience need a little bit more than that. These are my gang, so don't pay attention.
Ich sehe im Moment keine weiteren Fragen, möchte aber die Gelegenheit nochmal nutzen, darauf hinzuweisen, dass natürlich alle Leiterinnen und Leiter der Sektionen und Initiativen hier sind und natürlich auch gerne zu ihren Programmen für Fragen oder für Interviews zur Verfügung stehen. Also wenn Sie jetzt noch Fragen haben, die die Sektionen betreffen, die Initiativen betreffen, dann können die gerne auch jetzt gestellt werden, beziehungsweise haben wir natürlich auch nachher noch Gelegenheit zu individuellen Gesprächen. Gibt es noch Fragen? Famous last words in the first row.
Karen Testum, ich schreibe für Arbeiter in Dänemark. Ich würde gerne fragen, ganz pragmatisch für den Kinobesetzung der Generation. Und dann habe ich einen kleinen Kommentar, aber ich weiß, der Festival ist groß. Ich hätte gerne eine kleine, kurze Präsentation, die unterschiedliche andere Klassen, die hier, also der Panorama und Forum, also da habe ich keine Introduktion bekommen. Ist das ein Ausdruck, dass der Festival sich jetzt von den Klassen trennen möchte und als eine große Festival dastehen? Oder ja, wie soll ich das verstehen?
We decided, of course, the Berlinale is very big and it's very complicated to present all sections in one single round. Already, I think some of you were concerned about the fact that we didn't unveil any title of the competition before today. We decided to keep this press conference short as possible because time is precious for everyone. But of course, you can find all the information for every section in the program, and our lighter, our curator, are very much willing and open to explain that in a one-to-one meeting. But then I let Marianne answer about the keynote.
Ja, ich möchte mal ganz kurz was sagen. Wir haben ja tatsächlich in den letzten Wochen wieder sehr viele Pressemitteilungen an Sie übermittelt, damit Sie sich schon mal ein Bild machen können, wie das Programm aussieht und jetzt eben uns den heutigen Tag für den Wettbewerb und die restlichen Specials vorbehalten. Aber natürlich stehen alle Kolleginnen hier und können Auskunft geben. Und ich gebe jetzt mal gleich weiter an Marion Redpath von Generation. Ja.
Ist ganz leicht. Wir haben zweimal stark West, die Uranie in diesem Jahr und Zyperlast für unsere Premieren. Wir bespielen auch Cinemax am Potsdamer Platz und wir gehen auch mit aller Kraft in Kubix, also 4 Vorführungen am Tag und unser geliebter Filmtheater am Friedrichshain. Also ich sage immer zweimal stark West, zweimal stark Ost und gut in der Mitte. Also ist das okay?
Einmal Berlin.
Maybe one more question.
Da ist noch eine Frage hinten. Können wir bitte ein Mikro bekommen? Katharina? Ja.
Was ja immer relativ gut in Berlin angenommen worden ist und auch gut ausverkauft war in den vergangenen Jahren immer ja Cinema Goes Kiez, also die Berlinale Goes Kiez. Wie sieht es denn damit in diesem Jahr aus? Mit welchen Kinos arbeiten Sie zusammen und wissen Sie vielleicht sogar schon, welche Titel werden dort laufen?
Theoretisch müsste ich jetzt die Kinos tatsächlich alle auflisten können, weil wir haben die Auswahl schon festgelegt, aber wir haben sie noch nicht veröffentlicht. Die Anna Jurzig, die für das Programm Kiezkino verantwortlich ist,
ja.
Steht da drin? Okay,
ist
dann
gestern
ist alles
Abend
da.
schon veröffentlicht worden,
Ja.
es steht im Dossier,
Ja.
aber vielleicht ist Charlotte oder ist irgendjemand, Anna, ist
Kiezkino da?
jemand von euch da?
Ist jetzt gerade niemand von der Sektion da, aber wir sind genau in einer gleichen Anzahl von Kinos vertreten wie im letzten Jahr und wir halten das auch für eine ganz wichtige Verbindung zur Stadt. Wir werden auch wieder eine Vorführung in der der Justizvollzugsanstalt haben, JVA Plötzensee. die letztes Jahr mit Systemsprenger wahnsinnig gut angekommen ist. Und also dieses Prinzip wollen wir definitiv weiter beibehalten.
Hier vorne noch mal eine Frage. Ja.
Ja, noch eine kleine Ergänzung, weil ich es jetzt die Zahlen gesehen habe. In den letzten Jahren waren immer ungefähr 400 Filme im Festival. Dieses Jahr sind es 340. Liegt das jetzt an den Bewerbungen oder ist das auch ein Stück Verschlankung, die ja so gefordert wurde?
Also zum einen sind es weniger Filme, weil wir eine große Retrospektive hatten letztes Jahr, also in 2019, wodurch, wenn ich mich richtig erinnere, um die 45 Filme oder 40.
So in general, we didn't want to reduce the number of films, but there was a process that was shared with all the curators of the section to be sharper, to try to be able to support each film. So this discussion led to the fact that we have less film in Panorama, less film in Generation, less film in Forum. So this is maybe next year we will have more because the film will appeal to us in a different way. Yeah.
Nein, es war jetzt nicht von vornherein beabsichtigt.
Wenn es kein, doch, hier vorne gibt es noch eine Frage.
Hello, I'm Mariette, African Refugee News. First of all, welcome to the Berlinale.
Thank you.
And second, how was it for you both? 8 months working, because you really changed the Berlinale in good, I'd say also. But how was the work? Because I think
very intense, actually.
I don't know if we really changed the Berlinale. That was not our goal. Our goal was to go on with a great history of the festival. Then, of course, each of us do the things his own way, with his own background and taste and knowledge of cinema and whatever. I must say that I was not that stressful, that work. Maybe it will become stressful now that we unveil the competition. It was very nice, actually, because of the people we were lucky to work with and because of the system the Berlinale has in place.
Das Team ist ja hat uns ja sehr warm empfangen und hat uns auch sehr ein Bett gemacht sozusagen und eine sehr gute Grundlage gegeben, neue Ideen vielleicht zu entwickeln, aber auch zu gucken, was ist alles da und was möchten wir auch unbedingt weiterführen, weil die Berlinale ja wirklich an einem sehr starken Standort ist und sich auch sehr in den letzten Jahren unheimlich gut darstellt und auch sehr viel Aufmerksamkeit bekommt. Das ist ja es war ein kleines Geschenk, was wir bekommen haben. Insofern sind wir da jetzt nicht rangegangen, so von wegen, das wird jetzt alles ganz schwierig, im Gegenteil.
Vielen Dank.
Danke.
Dankeschön.
Danke.